Do you ever sense that someone's watching you? Have you glimpsed a fleeting shadow out of the corner of your eye and turned only to find that there's no one there? Terrifying, isn't it? In these two ghostly tales, we reveal the ghost of a friar who can be found wandering in a Norfolk churchyard, and a soldier from the English Civil War who shows himself in Saffron Walden. We took our psychic medium Lizzie Faulkner to both places to investigate these ghostly tales. And of course, we told her absolutely nothing. Everything she reveals comes from her spontaneous psychic sense. We begin at St. Mary's Church, Houghton on the Hill, at North Pickenham in Norfolk. A narrow path leads through the graveyard to this very out-of-the-way church.
Hello.
Bob Davey, the church warden, was waiting by candlelight.
Tell me a bit about how you're connected with the church.
I've been connected with the church since June '92,
Right,
when my better half came on a ramble with a WI and found a ruined church that was
right.
being satanically abused.
Oh. Can we go outside first, and then I'd like to come back in again, if that would be all right with
Yes,
you?
certainly.
Okay, thank you. Okay. I pick up on more than one spirit. Would that
Yes.
be correct?
It would be.
Right, good. I constantly feel the presence of a woman who wanders this garden. It's as if she's looking for something, possibly looking for a grave belonging to somebody that was a member of her family. I feel there is a very small child connected with her. And I feel that she is either looking for the grave of her child, or she tends to the grave of her child, but she doesn't stay in one spot. She tends to sort of glide. I'm seeing her sort of moving around, and I see her in long clothing. I want to say that she sits or stands near a tree most of the time, but it's almost like she's part of the picture. Does that make sense to you,
Yes,
Bob?
it does indeed. Very close to the tree,
Right,
there's a grave of a child,
right,
and obviously the mother
right.
buried there,
Okay.
which ties in exactly with what you've said.
Have you seen them?
No,
Right. Has anybody seen the woman that we talked about? Because I feel she's very visual.
yes, one of my visitors did.
Tell me about that.
She didn't have a lot of detail. She just thought she saw a female figure here,
Right.
a female spirit.
Right. Okay. So you've had another paranormal experience out here in the garden, and you actually saw something.
Yes, I did.
Okay. Do you ever feel scared here?
No,
No.
not at all.
Now that we come to this spot, I'm more drawn to sort of saying that there's also almost an angelic figure, all white, male, with robes. I'm seeing robes now, and something tied around his waist. And I want to say that we are looking at a former priest, vicar from the church, and but he comes across to me as being. I want to say that he almost holds his hands up in a biblical way. Does that mean something
Yes,
to you?
it does. You're absolutely right.
Right.
Yes.
but I don't feel scared of him. Is this the man? Have you seen this man?
Yes, I have. He's a Carmelite friar who looked after the chantry when the church was a chantry.
Right, right.
It was set up as a chantry in 1304
Wow, a long time ago.
and continued till Henry VIII shut them all down in the 1500s.
Right.
There were always two Carmelite friars looking after a chantry like this.
Yes.
And
Which would make sense with the robes.
the
and
colour and everything else, you're absolutely right. It's set up to pray for the soul, the daily prayers for the soul of someone buried here.
Right. And so tell me, how many times have you seen this lovely man?
I've seen him half a dozen times.
Wow, it's a lot. A lot. And does anybody else see him, or are you the only person
No,
that's seen
other
him?
people have seen him as well.
Good, good. And they're not frightened either?
No.
No.
One was quite angry.
Why would they be angry?
Well, he comes across the field from where they used to live to the
Right,
church
and
to
the field
carry
is
out
over
his
that
duties.
way.
That's it. And he came across the field, and a tractor driver working in the field, ploughing in the field, looked up from his plough, and there was a figure in front of the tractor. And he was afraid it was a live man that he was about to run down.
Run over. And the next minute he was gone.
The next minute he was gone, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
He came over to see me and told me about this.
Oh, right, right. Well, can we have a walk round and go around the back and come round to the front again, and then
Yes.
we can have a look and see what else is around here. Such a pretty place. It's really beautiful. This beautiful place doesn't have electricity, does it?
No.
Whatever you would see or feel would be with candlelight. Is
Yes.
that correct? But what I'm also picking up on, that something was visual that couldn't have been candlelight. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
It was much brighter than that. And again, I want to go back to a feeling of something being very spiritual and angelic. That's what I need to do for you, is tell you that. It is a pure light. And it will keep coming, Bob. I'm absolutely certain of that there will be more. And eventually it will just be a place where people will come to feel peace and love and healing here, without a doubt.
Can I tell you about one of the experiences?
Yes.
I came down from the tower with a group. One lady decided she didn't want to climb the tower, and she just sat in here, in the nave. She looked slightly startled when I came down, and she said more or less what you've said to me. "You haven't got electric light, have you?" I said, "No, we haven't." But she said the place lit up, a very bright light. I've known 3 occasions when this has happened.
Yes. And where was the light coming from?
Nowhere. It was just here.
Mm-hmm.
Suddenly, on a dark and drizzly day, the place lights up.
And it is what I would call a pure divine light here. And for anybody who wants to feel at peace and feel love, this is a wonderful place to sit and meditate and pray, without a doubt. It's just been fantastic coming here. Thank you so much. It's been brilliant.
Thank you for coming.
And
Lovely to
well
see
done, Bob. It's just brilliant.
Do I believe in ghosts? Yes, I certainly do. Perhaps not before I came here, but I certainly do now. I'm a very down-to-earth sort of a person. If I see something, then I'm prepared to acknowledge it's there. But I've had to do some pretty heavy rethinking on the subject. I was an engineer working for the Southern Water Authority. I was in charge of sewage works. Not a place where I think you would normally find ghosts. I've always been a Christian, and I do believe that this life is not the final story. It doesn't come to an end. That the human spirit lives on. I believe, as I say now, that this life is really an apprenticeship for what is to come. And therefore, it becomes very important that we do the right things now.
You'd think a churchyard at night time would be the last place you'd want to go. All those moving shadows lying in wait behind the tombstones. But in fact, I thought this old churchyard seemed a rather beautiful, uplifting and serene sort of place. You see, ghosts aren't always out to get you. In part 2, a ghostly tale dating back to the English Civil War. Don't go away. This is a ghostly tale dating from the English Civil War. It concerns a 500-year-old hotel in Saffron Walden. As ever, Lizzie knew nothing of the story or the people concerned before she went to the Cross Keys in the High Street. Here she met Chrissy, the assistant manager, and Gabby, one of the hotel staff.
Okay, I'm getting that this place is a place of two halves for some reason. That's what I'm being told.
Yeah.
I'm drawn to a male, and I'm just trying to pick up on why he's here. A dispute. I'm getting there was a dispute over the ownership of this place, and the feeling I get is that he felt he was meant to be here, but somebody else bullied him out. I'm now drawn to his boots, and for some reason his boots are very noisy. I want to say that on the bottom of these boots there's metal on the bottom of these boots, so if you hear footsteps I would say that they're pretty loud.
It's quite scary.
Are you alright?
Yeah.
Sorry, I just want to give you a little bit more of a picture here. He tells me that he frequents this area here, and I need to go down with him as well.
Oh, no. Oh, got
Strange. Okay, well, before we go any further, he wants me to go downstairs. I presume, being in a bar here, we've got a cellar to go to.
Yeah.
But before we do that, tell me what you've experienced in this area here.
The only experience that I've actually had myself is I'd opened up at 11 o'clock one morning. I'd got one customer in with this little girl, and they were sitting over there in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And I was standing at this end of the bar, and a glass jumped from this top shelf here and landed on the ground and didn't even break. Normally they would break.
Yeah.
And it didn't even bother, it didn't sort of, someone probably put it on the shelf, wonky or something like that. But, and I picked it up and I put it back underneath here, and all my hairs on my arms all stood up.
So you did get a big shock.
Yeah, I did, just a little bit.
Yeah. Had you thought before then?
Well, no. I mean, there's so many stories that are going around about what's happened here in the past, and I'm going, oh yeah. But I am very sceptical. I'm intrigued, and I think I'd be very frightened if anything really did happen to me. But I am very sceptical. And I don't frighten very easily, that's the only thing.
Yes, I'm picking up that he needed to prove something to you here.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
So there is definitely something here.
Can we go to the cellar? Would that be all right?
Yeah, sure.
Need to
Okay.
switch.
No.
Right, okay. Which way do we go? This way or that way?
It's that way,
That way.
yeah.
Through here? You've clearly got more than one cellar here, but we've come down to this. I understand from our crew that we had a problem trying to get in,
Yeah.
and that they had to pick the lock.
That's right.
And I understand that it was actually locked from the inside. So obviously somebody didn't want to be found down here. And again, I'm picking up on this man. He was hiding from other people. That's why he came down here. And he still feels the need to hide down here. There was a lot of noise and people walked in and took over. People who walk in have got weapons. That's what I'm getting. So that would draw me to soldiers of some form or other. 2 soldiers in particular would have bullied him and taken over this place, and you know he's sort of fighting for his property, saying it's mine, it's mine.
This is so amazing.
I'm also seeing a piece of paper, like a document that's been shown to him to say, sorry, this is not yours anymore, this belongs to this man that's... I want to say the king, but he's not the king. Do you understand what I mean by that? I want to say that he's a ruler, but not a king.
And Oliver Cromwell used to stay here, and yeah, definitely, Oliver Cromwell.
Okay, and the soldiers?
Yes, because in the hotel park people have heard footsteps up and down the corridors, like marching.
With the metal boots, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Okay,
yes, definitely.
Okay. I would sense that what he would do if you were to come down here is to get your attention, possibly even by touching you. But there's a feeling that he just wants you to know that he's here. And he did pass away in this building, but refused to go, refused to move on because he wanted to claim back what was rightfully his. Okay, shall we go to somewhere else now in the building? Would that be all right?
Yes, I'd like to go.
Well, you lead the way, and I sort of feel we need to go upstairs now. So
Okay.
that'll be all right. Thank you. This goes back to the man we talked about before. It's the same spirit. We've got the same spirit wandering around the whole area around here. There's a very strong energy, and he does turn things on and off, and he does move things, and he does. I mean, he's good at it.
That's when it would explain that radio at least once a week. Suddenly goes volume straight up and then straight down, and we can't explain it.
This happened to you, did it, Gabby?
It happens to everyone all the time in the kitchen when you've got that radio on. It just, the volume always goes right up and then right down. He has moved plates
things.
down, or what are they?
The banana
But-
split
Yeah.
dishes, and
On there.
down the bottom. I wasn't here when it happened, but someone else who doesn't work here anymore jumped from off the shelf up there and smashed up against the wall and just broke all over there. And there was nobody down there. She was at this end of the kitchen.
Incredible. As I mentioned before, I sort of pick up that he is such a strong energy that he's visual. Do you remember we talked about that when I
Yeah.
first came here? Have either of you actually seen him?
Funny you should say that. I was just about standing where you were, or maybe just further back, and it was one evening when we had just closed up the pub, and I looked up and saw a black figure just over there. I got goosebumps all over.
Right. And how did you feel?
I was scared and chills all over.
Yeah.
I ran back out through there into the bar.
Right.
Did not come back in here the rest of the night. It was scary.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. I mean, it's very startling when you see something like
It
that.
is, yeah.
It's been a very interesting place to visit here, and I'm sure that the people who come stay here find it very interesting as well. It's just steeped in history, which is great. But it's a wonderful place. You've got a fantastic place here, and thank you very much for asking me to come today. I hope I've been of some help.
Definitely. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Thanks very much.
Good. Thank you.
Because you know that there's something here from the past, you know that they're here, and you just sort of, they're part of your everyday life. But no, I'm not frightened. I'm not. No, I don't think I am.
I don't really know if I believe in ghosts, but I do believe there is something there, spirit or something unusual going on. But ghosts. But when I think of ghosts, I think of Casper, flying around, looking all white, flying around. I don't picture that. But yeah, I do believe there is something here from the past.
Yes, I think we definitely have got a haunted pub here.
Spooky.
Definitely.
So there you have it, the ghostly tale of a frightened hotel owner persecuted by Oliver Cromwell. It's absolutely true about the cellar. The lock had been dislodged from inside the door. It took the film crew about 20 minutes with a torch and bits of bent wire to realign the lock through the keyhole before they could open the door. Very strange. There you are then. Till next time. Sleep well. If you can.
Next time, Joss Ackland returns with the ghostly tale of an abandoned child in a Northampton pub and an entire family of ghosts in a Suffolk cottage. If you have a ghostly tale of your own, why not tell us about it? Call us on 01603 752 358. Standard call rates apply.